Welcome back. Who have we got in here today? Looking very quiet in here today. Sometimes it's good when it's quiet. Big warm welcome back to the channel, to the madness, to the craziness that is KBS. And I've got something a little bit different for today. A big bit different for today. We're going to be taking a look at how one group of people interpret and celebrate Christmas. And it's something completely different. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. And of course, it'll get us in the mood for jumping on over to the main Kev Baker show on tfrlive.com. In just over an hour's time, Jimmy Jeans will be there. Scotty Lopez is 50-50. It's the holiday season. People have got stuff going on in the real world. So hopefully he can make it. If not, I'm sure he'll be there for Freaky Friday tomorrow night. And before I jump into the chat room, I see Jeff. What's up, Jeff? I'm good over here, man. Hope you're doing good there. I urge you all to check out this over here. Give me 2 seconds, folks, and I'll bring it up. It's our good friend, Dr. McCairn. He put out a video. Oh, wait till I get that on here. Help if I had it on the screen, right? Right? Surely. We're doing it on the fly, ladies and gents. We'll do it on the fly. Where are we now? There we go. So we close that down a bit there. Bring that over here. Bada bing, bada boom there. There we go. Hang on now. It's not looking right at all. Get it behind me. Get me smaller. That's what we'll do. Need this bigger. There we go. It's a video that Kevin put out yesterday. I urge you all to check that out. I'm going to be getting him to come back on the show real soon to talk about it. Very important, in my opinion, that you watch that, especially since a lot of you do follow what Kevin does, because he's been coming on to the Kev Baker show. Gets confusing with all these Kevins around, right? Doesn't it? It really does. So, listen, without any further ado, I'm going to quickly go over to the chat room, which is over there, I think. Yeah, my camera's back to front. I'm looking the wrong way. It's not going right. It's all good, though. It's all good in the hood. Having coffee tonight. Yes, I had maybe a little bit, one too many Jack Daniels last night by the end of the night. Damn, dude. So, yes, staying very level-headed today. PPP. So, who's in the chat room? We've got the Polly Nation, Bernays Sauce, Brian. Brian, did they kick you out and you had to come back again? First Paranormal. How you doing, Jace? We've got Zadok, Jeff, Trent, Nacy. How you doing, man? Brian, Polly. I think Polly was first. And Trent, yes, you were on time today. Good man. I like it. I like it when you're on time. Keep it up. Good stuff. So then, listen, let's get into it. Don't want to hang around too long with the intro here. Lose a lot of people when they play it back afterwards. So, it's getting near Christmas time, right? We're all getting in the Christmas mood. Well, maybe some of us are. Maybe some of us aren't. But you'll notice yourself that a lot of the stories this time of year, that they take a kind of direction towards that theme. So, me being the #1 abnormal paranormal show, because there is no other show in that genre, I tried to look for something a little different when it comes to this Christmas kind of content. Boy, have I got something different for you today. Now, we're going to take a look at how a religion, a specific religion out there, celebrates and interprets the Christmas story as we all commonly know it. Now, before I go over there and we take a look at this, let me emphasize, I will be having a laugh and a joke, but it is in no way, shape, or form an attack against or belittling anyone who might identify as being a member of the Aetherius Society. You ever heard of the Aetherius Society? Listen to that. We've got Christmas songs kicking in. We'll get rid of that. But listen, have you heard of the Aetherius Society? You have now, and you're going to hear a lot more about them in just a moment. Let's check this out. Who's the late stragglers coming in here? We've got Rose, Ben, the Wookiee, ZX. Aye. Noted. Only joking. You know, I was over in Discord before we came on here today, and one of our users on Discord was telling me that they make 5k a month doing Bitcoin mining. But how many of these graphics cards do you need to get into that game? I've got a decent graphics card, decent CPU, but do I need like a whole rig of them? I fancy myself a little bit of 5k a month. I wouldn't say no to a little bit of that. Yes, so I'm going to be taking a look into this Bitcoin mining. No, I'm not. But Leslie, good to see you. We've got Rose, I think I mentioned you. Ben, Paul from Newcastle, almost missed you out. And Zoe Buttercup. So, with me clearing my voice out the way, let's head on over and take a look at the Aetherius Society and how an extraterrestrial religion, their take on Christmas. And it says here, holodeck the halls. Boom, boom. So Christmas is actually in March. Who knew? Now, I know there is a lot of contention around that December 25th date. There really, really is. But in this story here of Christmas, it's actually in March. The Star of Bethlehem was a alien spaceship, and Jesus was an extraterrestrial being from Venus. Do not strike me down, Lord. I'm reading a story. It's not me committing great blasphemy on the air. So it says, if you find yourself nodding your head in agreement, then you're probably a member of the Aetherius Society, a religion based on those and many other unusual and disparate ideas whose executive secretary and chief public relations person, Richard Lawrence, upended the traditional Christmas story recently for My London. Now, how did these beliefs originate, and what kind of carols do they sing in March? Holodeck the halls? E.T. in the manger? Boom, boom. Pretty good. Quote, I wouldn't call him an alien. I'd call him a great cosmic intelligence. But yes, alien, if you'd like. I believe he came from Venus. Lawrence begins by giving a very brief intro into the Aetherius Society. And don't you worry, I've got you covered, folks. We're going to go and take a look at their website and things, all right? And again, with total respect, we are exploring other groups' beliefs. That's what we're doing here. We're being very open-minded and inclusive. We're not going to react too harshly to anything we hear. I hope you don't react. I don't mean to trigger people. Sometimes I do, but not today. It's not a day for triggers today, right? So it all began back in 1954 when George, King of Wellington, England, claimed he had heard a voice informing him he was about to become, quote, the voice of interplanetary parliament. A week later, an unnamed Swami allegedly entered his locked apartment and taught him telepathy, a skill that he used to communicate with Aetherius, a cosmic master living on Venus. Now, other cosmic masters he claimed to communicate with were Jesus and the Buddha. Now, King organized a group of people to join him in these telepathic communications, and that became the Aetherius Society. Now, the organization is now worldwide and considered to be a syncretic religion combining aspects of millenarianism, wow, New Age teachings, UFO religions, and others. Now, it says you can learn more about them on the website, and you know we're going to go back to that. We're definitely going to go back to that. Before we go even any further here, what we're talking about then is somebody back in the 50s who made a bold claim about being in telepathic communication with beings. Well, I'll put my cards on the table. That's how we roll on here. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think that channeling and communication like that, i.e., between somebody here and somebody in a remote part of the universe, thanks to quantum entanglement, technology that maybe we're not privy to, telepathy, things we don't even understand yet, I do think that that can be a thing. But here's the kicker. It's a very hard thing to verify. And there's a lot of faith. As with any religion, there's a lot of faith involved. Now, you take a look at a lot of the people today who claim to be channeling, and then my gut goes off a lot of the time. Not all of the time, but 90% of the time, I think there's people with an agenda. And then it's trying to narrow down and figure out who that genuine 10% are. I'm just putting a rough ballpark figure on it. So while we do laugh, or I do laugh and I have a joke, the way I do through stories, at the heart of this story here, what we've got so far is something I think is feasible. It is plausible. And I'll go one controversial step further. When you think about the story of Jesus Christ as we know it, if you're a Christian and getting ready to celebrate Christmas and things like that, we're talking about a being that was put into a womb artificially. Now, does that make them of this earth or of somewhere else? And not just somewhere else, maybe physical in the universe, maybe interdimensional. Does that make you extra dimensional? We're definitely talking about a being with very superpowers, right? As the story goes on to tell of his life. So, look, at the heart of this, the very heart of it, I'm actually enjoying this story. Let's get back into it. Let's have a look. Now, I don't know how many people I've triggered yet. This is the kind of show where I don't look in the chat room until it's chat room time. I don't mean to trigger anyone. Based on the Bible, the Star of Bethlehem was witnessed by 3 wise men, whom one would take to be very credible witness. It guided them to a specific place. It could have been a star, or it couldn't have been a star. They don't move. Meteorites don't hover. It had a pattern. It was an alien ship. So let's detach all emotional connections to religion and everything else for a moment. The way that's told there, at the Star of Bethlehem, how it moves about in the night sky and tells people where to go, that does sound very artificial to me. Just saying. Just saying. Now, the other day we took a look at, if I bring this up here, Vatican, yeah, the Nativity, there it is. Now, we took a look at this thing here, right? And there's the one with Darth Vader. Where is Darth? Is he on this one? I'll get the pictures of it. Nativity, there we go. Images. There's a lot of kind of, there's been a lot of debate about who these two characters are. This here. Are they meant to be like two of the wise men? Two witnesses or something? I mean, because if they are, they look very alien in this depiction. But that's all I'm saying. Now, if you haven't, or you missed that the other day, I urge you go and check out the nativity scene at the Vatican. One of the weirder ones, and they do some weird things over there, right? But could it have been aliens? I have a weird way of looking at the world and the universe, and I think everything was created by what I call the programmer. Now, in Christian terminology, that would be God, right? And I think there are various planets out there. There might even be many worlds and many different dimensions as well, but all of which goes back to that single source. So if speculation planet today, we're not even on an island, we've gone off world. Speculation 9, because it's like a station around a distant planet. While I think about it, is everyone watching The Expanse? Yeah, if you're into sci-fi, you need to check out The Expanse. Really long-winded point I'm trying to make here is there could well have been aliens there to witness something that if it was known about in other parts of the universe and they had the technology, wouldn't it make sense that they would send people here for that? Oh, deep word today. Deep, 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 deep word. Damn, am I trying to trigger people? I'm not trying. So the interview with My London focuses on the theorist beliefs about Christmas, combining the Christian nativity story with the telepathic teachings King received from Venus. Lawrence explains that Jesus arrived not as an about-to-be newborn on a donkey, but as a passenger on a ship from Venus. An event witnessed by 3 credible witnesses. Something biblical historians themselves have been unable to confirm. It was actually March 15th, and we know this for 2 reasons. Firstly, it was told to Dr. George King in the compacts. Now, the compacts must be his, like, what we call downloads today. But there's another aspect to that. Clues in the Bible itself. For example, shepherds watching their flocks by night couldn't have been doing that on December the 25th. It would be a spring thing. Lawrence then throws a little paganism into the mix. Many religions and cultures prior to Christianity celebrated the vernal spring equinox in March, when nature starts things over again with new crops and young livestock. A more suitable time for shepherds to be tending their flock, not in the middle of winter, and to help indoctrinate polytheistic pagans into monotheistic Christianity. Its leaders regularly adopted and adapted ancient ceremonies into their own. Now, it sounds like King and his society did the same. Lawrence also adopts a little of the ancient astronaut theories that events in the Bible, like unexpected or unusual clouds, stars, fiery chariots in the sky, etc., were actually spaceships described by people with terms they understood. Those ships didn't just come from Venus. The society believes that Sri Patanjali, Sri Krishna, Confucius, and Lao Tzu came from other planets. Now, I'm very open to that. Because it was when Joe Joseph said to me about the Bible that I started to look at it a whole lot differently. And he says, Kev, forget the whole Sunday school spiel that you heard. You like your sci-fi, you like your fantasy stuff. This is like Star Wars mixed with Lord of the Rings and then some. It's a book of magic, there's fantasy, there's battles, there's space stuff going on, there's cryptids in there. I'm thinking, oh, all right then, Joe, all right. But you know what I've learned over the years? Bugger was right. He was right. Absolutely right. And a big shout out to Joe, if he's out there. Talking to him not long ago. Talking to Popeye yesterday as well. Yes, the poopster. Damn, did I say his word? Did I say his name? Oh, that's the monetization on this video going. I don't know what he's done to annoy that algorithm. But it says the interview is limited to Aetherius Christmas teachings for the Christmas season. But anyone curious on the Society's other tenets can read any of Richard Lawrence's many books. Now, while often ridiculed, as other New Age and UFO religions are, the Aetherius Society comes across as a friendly and caring group just looking to spread its messages of altruism, community service, naturism, spiritual healing, and exercise. And when you take everything else out of it, how can anyone argue when it comes to something like that? Community service, naturism, spiritual healing, exercise. Its members are concentrated in London, Los Angeles, and New Zealand. Excellent. So, no, they don't have any extraterrestrial holiday carols, and their teachings aren't much stranger than most religions. So, in the spirit of the season, we hope they enjoy the anniversary of whatever day the spaceship arrived. So, I think we need to take a look at what they're all about. Wouldn't you agree? But before we do that, oh, you knew I was going to do it to you folks. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to get a drink of coffee, a little bit of PPP, and then we will get launched right back into it. Launch being the appropriate word. Before I forget, in case I do forget, thank you all for being here today. Top notch. Top notch. Well, it's not Hogmanay yet, but hey, I suppose it's every day is Hogmanay for some people, right? So I don't know. But yes, indeed. I'll be coming into the chat very, very shortly after we take a look at the Aetherius Society. Now, I might be wrong, but I don't think this is something we've looked at before in the span of 1,400 plus episodes on the Kev Baker Show. Countless thousands more YouTube videos over the years. This is pretty much a new one to me, maybe. And I say maybe because at the age of 44, there are some things I start to forget now. I'm actually quite looking forward to dementia. I'll be able to enjoy all those old films again like I've never seen them before. TV shows, I'll be able to watch Lost again and I'll not know the ending. And then I'll get to cry at the ending all over again. So yeah, there's things to look forward to. Forgetfulness has its upsides. But hey, maybe if I adopt the Aetherian way, maybe I'll be able to psychically get out of here, right? Right before the mind goes totally to jelly. So let's take a look. The Aetherius Society. Holy shamoly. We got a big triangle going on over here, folks. We've got a one-eyed smiley face or a one-nostril smiley face. And then we've got something that looks very, very akin to, I would say, Arabic writing. But I could be wrong. I could be culturally inappropriate with that. Who knows? It says here, you ready? The Aetherius Society. I don't know why I ask, are you ready? It's like, no way in the world is anyone ever going to answer me. And if I ever hear any of you answering me, I will absolutely myself. Yes, indeed. The Aetherius Society is an international spiritual organization dedicated to spreading and acting upon the teachings of advanced extraterrestrial intelligences. And at this point, I'm wondering, why have I never heard of these people before? This is awesome. In great compassion, these beings recognize the extent of suffering on Earth and have made countless sacrifices in their mission to help us create a better world. The society was founded in the mid-1950s by an Englishman named George King. Not to be mistaken with old King George, but George King. Shortly after he was contacted in London by an extraterrestrial intelligence known as Aetherius. The main body of the Society's teachings consists of the wisdom given through a mediumship of Dr. King by the Master Aetherius. Now, this really does sound very New Agey, and that's not me criticising or promoting New Age. They talk about ascended masters. Remember all that stuff? We done a lot of shows on that back in the day with the late Carolyn Hamlet, R.I.P., when Laura Maxwell would come on as well. We got into the whole Lucius Trust, Alice Bailey, and we went back, all that good stuff, the theosophy, all that kind of thing. Okay, but we'll get back to this now. I digress, because it's what I do. The main body of the Society's teaching consists of the wisdom given through mediumship by Dr. King, by the Master Aetherius and other advanced intelligences from beyond this world, and beyond. So the single greatest aspect of the Society's teaching is the importance of selfless service to others. The Society's motto is, service is the jewel in the rock of attainment. Service is the jewel in the rock of attainment. As well as this, the Society's beliefs encompass many different subjects, including oneness and the divine spark within all life, God is all, UFOs and advanced life on other planets, prayer as a natural way of invoking and radiating spiritual energy, karma and reincarnation, yoga philosophy and practice, including yoga breathing and the chanting of mantra, kundalini, chakras and auras, spiritual energy and spiritual healing, psychic powers and intuition, enlightenment and cosmic consciousness. Now, I've talked about cosmic consciousness before. Whether it's the same thing or not, we'll open it up on our page. The Mother Earth as a living goddess, Gaia. Holy mountains, oh my goodness. Well, what do we always talk about here on the show? The boring old mountains. You see, I know some people out there, they'll be, looking through cracks in their fingers going, he's not talking about mountains again, is he? Well, it's better than my pet octopus. That's all I'm going to say. But listen, we're going to take a look at that. There's something to these holy mountains. Why holy? Because there's an energy, there's something that happens there that brings down the border between this realm and whatever the other realms are, whether they're interdimensional, whether it, who knows? Who knows? Are they entangled with the mountains on other planets? It sounds bizarrely out there. But we're talking about a religion that deals with extraterrestrials today, so I actually feel in good company. And there they are. The aforementioned ascended masters, eh? Life at other frequencies of vibration, which are also known as other planes or realms. Thought about that a lot. We've talked about that a lot as well. I'm sure some of you out there, most of you will have heard at least some people talking about, we're at one vibration here. You could look at the Schumann resonance of the planet. You could look at the frequency that we all vibrate at. And then maybe, the next band of frequencies up, next band of frequencies down. There's an absolutely just as real reality there. Only they're either higher vibrational or lower vibrational. And we, like a radio, like a TV set, as Ike puts it, we're only tuned into a very, very fine, narrow band of reality. So who's to say there isn't bajillions of other bands of reality on either side? Upways, downways, left, right, everywhere. Multi-dimensional. Yes, indeedy. Quite liking the sound of this, but don't worry, folks. I'm not going to be rushing off to convert to being some Aetherius Society member. Not just yet. Need to pay me a lot of money. The society does not regard itself as the one and only path to enlightenment or salvation. It maintains that all the great religions are simply different expressions of the one essential timeless reality that is the divine source. Well, holy shamoly. That there should be written on money. It's basically, that's what I think as well. All the different religions, we talk about how the languages were scattered. I think the story was all broken up like a jigsaw as well. Different parts of the world, they had their ways of interpreting it. They had their ways of almost shaping it, bending it into their form of religion. But all of it, you need to put all of it together to see the whole, to be able to try and pick out the whole. And at the center of all of it, a divine source. You can call it God. You can call it the programmer. I've got no problem whatever you call it. There's definitely that at the core of everything, right? Because come on, are we really just all random? I have a problem with that. The society symbol means God manifesting itself as wisdom. Bit weird, that one, when you think about the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And wasn't it the knowledge, wasn't it that caused all the problems in the first place? Are we starting to see cracks in their story here? What God do they speak of, ladies and gentlemen? I'm all joking. And left part being an ancient and holy symbol of God. Sorry, the left part being an ancient and holy symbol for God, and the triangle on the right being a symbol for wisdom. So this is for God, and this is for wisdom. The pyramid, the triangle. Triggering lots of people today. I know it. Not deliberately doing it, but I want to take a look what it says about the holy mountains, because we talk about these. We've had Nacy on the show talking about the natural stargates. We've had Luna and Donnie on the show. Jess, Dan from Down Under, Ken talking about the magical mountains. We hear these stories all the time. A lot of the missing 411 stuff takes place in and around where? Mountains. You get the Yeti over in the Himalayas. Mountains. Moses, where did Moses go and get all of his commandments and things? He went up a mountain. You see how we're rolling here, folks? And then we had DJ, somebody on YouTube, who was very infamous around the time of Jade Helm. She's an AI researcher, but she started to decode things from the Bible, and one of which was she found it quite amazing as well. How many times it talks about rocks in the Bible, and they're doing crazy things, like they're either burning on fire, they're talking. It's like we read earlier on about how you can interpret some of the things in the Bible, like chariots of fire in the sky. What we're talking about there. That burning meteor? Or is it some kind of craft with a plume coming out the end of it with an exhaust? Don't know. So, here we have the Holy Mountains. Let's see what we're saying here. What are they? So, the Aetherius Society organizes several pilgrimages a year to holy mountains which contain special spiritual energies, which can be radiated to people in need through prayer, mantra, and visualization, Kevin. I really like that, by the way. That's like the group kind of intent, syncing up minds, that kind of thing. I know that sounds very new agey, but it's one of the natural skills and abilities that has been programmed into us. So it came from source. So there isn't anything bad about it, but they don't want us using it as much as we should and we could. Like we were talking yesterday about the kangaroos, and we were joking about how he's talking to Bruce now. There's a communication there. All joking aside, we've got Donnie and Luna who literally communicate head to head. My mind to your mind to my mind. Bush telegraph style. Imagine if we all got back to reconnecting on that level. Notice I say get back to reconnecting on that level, because I do think at one point we were connected telepathically around the planet. That might explain for some of the transfers of knowledge and technology that we see of as well. People say, but there wasn't travel back then. Well, maybe you didn't have to travel to transmit ideas, concepts. I don't know. I'm getting really deep here, but who knows? Taking part in a pilgrimage is an inspiring, sometimes life-changing event for an open-minded spiritual seeker. It's also an opportunity to meet and spend time with other like-minded people, usually followed by a social gathering. Pilgrimages bring people together from all over the world to celebrate the common purpose we all share: spiritual service to others. The Aetherius Society does not charge for these pilgrimages, and we are delighted to welcome spiritual seekers of all faiths, beliefs, and backgrounds. Hang on a minute. They're not like trying to make money out of it? Well, that's rather refreshing, right? Where'd I sign up? I'm only joking. But it says here, what are the Holy Mountains? This is going to be brilliant. The Holy Mountains we visit were charged with spiritual energies in a mission called Operation Starlight, which took Dr. George King on a worldwide journey which lasted over 3 years. In July 1958, Dr. King was instructed by a cosmic master to climb Holdstone Down, a small mountain located in North Devonshire, England. Jason, you're heading there, son. We're sending you up the magical mountain. It was there that he was contacted by the Master Jesus, who sent streams of spiritual power through him deep into the mountain, making Holdstone Down forever holy. Often in grueling and testing conditions, 18 other mountains around the world were also charged by cosmic masters or ascended masters with spiritual power in this mission, making them beacons of light for all humankind. Holy shamoly, there's one in Scotland. The Holy Mountains charged in Operation Starlight. I love the name of that. Operation Starlight engaged. I don't even know if that sounded right, but it was meant to be a radio voice. Ben Hope in the Highlands of Scotland. Nearest community, Tongue. Yeah, that's the name of a place. Then we've got Brown Willie. I know, I just said that. Cornwall in England. Carnloughlin, Gwynedd in Wales. Craggy, we've got Craggy Lethcoin. And that's in, I would say, the Cairn Gorms. Scotland. We've also got Holston Down, Kinderscow, Old Man of Coniston, Cumbria, Pennyfan, Yes Tor in Devonshire. In the USA, we've got Castle Peak in the Rocky Mountains, Mount Adams, Mount Baldy. I like that, man. Mount Tallack. In Australia, he went down there too. Mount Ramshead in New South Wales and Mount Kosciuszko. Yeah, Kosciuszko? I don't know, something like that. New Zealand, Mount Wakefield. Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. Europe, we had Mederger Flu and Lenid de Agel. Probably pronounced that all wrong, but there he is, man, doing his thing. Look at that. You know, you are channeling great powers when you've got that hat on. Look at it; it's like a spiritual antenna. Let's just get a little look at that. Look at that, looking rather dashing there, man. So here he is. George King is one of several that were taken on Mount Ramshead, Australia, immediately after the mountain was charged through Dr. King on December the 8th, 1960. Why have I never heard of this before? This is like Golden Woo. Golden Woo. And if we come back over here, key belief. Take a little look at this before we go. Let's see. The Society's beliefs cover a wide range, or a wide spectrum of philosophy, religion, metaphysics, and spiritual sciences, including the following key concepts. Selfless service to others. We'll just go over the topics. Yoga, spiritual energy, prayer and healing. The divine within. It is the essence of us all and of everything in creation is divine, a spark of God. We all come from the divine source, and we all eventually return to this source. It's known by many names: God, Brahma, Jehovah, and is described differently by different faiths. It is eternal, all-powerful, and all-knowing. It exists everywhere, and it is everything. In fact, it is even more than that. By correctly navigating our own personal journey through experience, we evolve and become increasingly aware of our divine nature. As a result, we gain greater and greater enlightenment, and also greater and greater spiritual powers, which can be used in selfless service to others. Intuition and psychic powers, Mother Earth, extraterrestrials. Yes, indeedy. In the Aetherius Society, those beings are sometimes termed cosmic masters, or even gods, plural, in deference to their higher state of spiritual evolution. UFOs, some so-called unidentified flying objects, or UAPs as they're called now, unidentified aerial phenomenon, please, have in fact been identified as extraterrestrial spacecraft. These have been visiting Earth for millennia. In the Bible, they are described in various ways, including cloud, star, and flying scroll. All things that Bill Bean has told me as well, by the way, when he's been on the show over the years. And in the Hindu scripts, there is a specific term for them, the Vimana. Oh, the Vimana. We'll open that up in another tab. But we all know about the Vimana, but it's always good to take another look at it. Karma and reincarnation. So let's see what it says about this. Do you think karma's the thing out there? Think what you put out there, you get back? I think there's a thing. It's like one of the rules of the universe, man. There ain't no beating it. Karma is not about punishment, but about learning. Karma is the great cosmic teacher which gives us the lessons we need in order to advance in our journey through spiritual evolution. Between incarnations, we spend a period of time on another plane. also referred to as another realm. This is part of Earth, but exists at a different frequency or vibration. Now, is that why some... Let's go totally in a different direction here with this. Is that what happens when you pass away? Look, bear with me. Think of hauntings, right? It's almost like ghosts are just carried on as if they're just... Nothing's changed, right? They're just going about their business, stomping about, throwing things about. What if it's just like here, only sometimes people don't realise when they're gone, when they're on that plane, they still think they're here. We've done the story about remember the tsunami as well? The ghosts of the tsunami? People getting into taxis, people stood dripping wet, didn't know what was going on, lost, what's happening. Is that what they're talking about here? Sounds like it. When, after many lives, we have learnt all the lessons provided by reincarnation, we are allowed to leave this wheel of rebirth and start a higher experience cycle on another planet as a cosmic master. Some people choose to sacrifice this opportunity to remain on the earth as an ascended master. Now, due to the wrong thought and action of mankind, or humankind, for millennia, do you see how I was almost very toxic there? Boy, oh boy. It's just ingrained into my head that should be... Okay, I won't do it. Humankind for millennia. The balance of the...
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I knew he was going to jump in at some point. Did I say he?
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I stand corrected. The balance of the world karma at present is not good. This prevents more direct intervention from the cosmic masters, such as an open landing in a major city. So we've got a kind of karma lock around us. Dang. Much of the Aetherius Society's work is done specifically in order to improve world karma, especially through the cosmic missions it is instrumental in performing. Who knew, eh? Who knew, man? I'm telling you. Why the Aetherius Society? There are many great spiritual paths, each of them unique. Here are some of the key aspects of the Aetherius Society which make it a very special and effective path at this time of great change on Earth. Well, that's something there I don't think anyone can argue, right? Great changes going on. Just a few. Selfless service to others is at the core of all Aetherius Society teachings and values, and the Society offers a very potent way to be of service to the world as a whole. The Aetherius Society works in direct cooperation with the gods from space to help bring about peace, healing, and upliftment on Earth. The Society was founded by a master of yoga, Dr. George King. The teachings of the Aetherius Society hold the answers to numerous profound questions which philosophers have pondered for centuries, regarding subjects such as life on other planets, life after death, the nature of God, the creation of the universe, and just the meaning of life, just the small questions. These teachings have been given by gods from space in language which is as simple, concise, and accessible as possible. The wisdom of these teachings has not been diluted over time, as has happened in some older paths. The vast majority of transmissions, now that's the communications in, given through Dr. King, were recorded for posterity, so spiritual speakers can actually hear the words of the gods for themselves. Ooh, there might be something to listen to. The Society does not claim to be one and only way, as do some religions, and the Aetherius Society teachings share truths with many great faiths and mystical traditions. Now, the Society teaches a variety of simple and effective practical techniques for spiritual development and service to others, such as yoga breathing and spiritual healing. The Society's beliefs and practices include aspects of Christianity, Eastern mysticism, especially yoga philosophy, and cosmic New Age spirituality. The society reveres the Mother Earth as a living goddess, and the society maintains that all people have divine potential and that nobody is beyond redemption. Really? Some are. The society offers a series of powerful spiritual initiations to its members and gives equal opportunities regardless of gender or race. Hey, hell yeah. The society organises countless events around the world to send out much needed spiritual energy to individuals in need, to regions in crisis, and to the world as a whole. Listen, looky here. What have we got here? Listen to their podcast series. Oh, nice. Why the Aetherius Society? Hang on.
At the American headquarters of the Aetherius Society, located in Hollywood, California, where service is the jewel in the rock of attainment.
I'm worried about that music there. Okay, here we go.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, to this latest in the series of Why the Aetherius Society, which we've been running since 1999, I think, to literally help explain the Aetherius Society to people, because it is quite complicated.
Yeah, we'll take a listen to that in greater detail one night, I think. But like I was going to say, look, see on the face of this, on the face of it, what they're talking about. What have we got here? There's King Yoga there. There's Dr. Is it Dr. George King? Yep, I got his name right. Short documentary on the Aetherius Society, published in the New York Times. When was this? Doesn't have a date on it. We're just going to watch a couple of seconds of this. It looks like a bloody scene out of a Stanley Kubrick movie, doesn't it? It's terrifying. I'm only joking. I'm sure it's quite the thing. I'm sure it's pretty cool. I'm sure if that's your thing, that's your gig, crack on. You know, if it's like it says on the tin there, not harming people, being very selfless and helping others all the time, helping to supercharge mountains with cosmic energy from cosmic gods and alien beings. They don't seem to be harming anyone, folks. And they've got a pretty cool take on the Jesus Christmas story, with the Star of Bethlehem being a UFO, Jesus being an alien from Venus, and a whole heap of other good things. But one thing, and many things that they do say in there, I can definitely resonate with. For a start, I think all of the world's various beliefs and religions, I think they all need to come together, because I think they've all got important parts of the story, and they're all telling the same story. Almost. So I think that bit, it nails that right. I think we do need to be a whole lot more selfless, and maybe getting back to connecting on that cosmic superhighway, the cosmic consciousness. Call it, whether it's alien beings, artificial intelligence out there, I don't know. I think we are a part of that collective consciousness that they're talking about. And it's not just human consciousness, it's everything. Animals, plants here, other planets, all of that stuff they've got going on there. Stuff, you know, life. You feel me? You dig me? Yep, I think that was quite an interesting little look at a different Christmas story. I hope it didn't trigger too many people out there. It certainly wasn't intended to do that. And I hope nobody thinks that I was, taking cheap shots at a group of people who aren't here to defend themselves. I think if you go back and look at this, you can see far from being cheeky or nasty. I think they've got a lot of good ideas going on there. And in the end of the day, if you aren't harming people and you're helping people, then hey, who am I to criticise anything? Because I can tell you right now, yours truly here is way, 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 way far from perfect. Oh, hell yeah. So, not my place to say if they're right or wrong. The Ethereum way might not be for me, but hey, if it appeals to you, have at it, folks. So listen, the conscious universe, says Karen. Yes. Natural law 8, simply knowing the right from wrong actions. Robin, isn't that just it? Isn't it? If we all know deep down what's right and what's wrong. We all know when we've got an option to either help somebody or walk on by. And if we just got to doing the right thing, being righteous, not doing harm to anyone, just living right, treating others the way that we would love to be treated ourselves, I think so many things would just evaporate overnight. But there's forces out there that like us to have these differences, and they pit us against each other because of these differences. And it's the oldest trick in the book, and we always fall for it. It's divide and conquer. That's why I like to look at what other people believe. I like to think we can all come together. I like to think that whatever you believe in, we can all agree that harming people's got to be wrong. Harming animals has got to be wrong. Helping people, probably going to be a good thing. You feel me? You dig me? Are we ready to start the Kev Baker UFO cult? I'm only joking, folks. But when we do, know that I channel everything from a green stuffed alien who promises me it's not even the tip. These guys have got nothing to do with the tip operation. Nothing at all. So listen, I don't care what anyone believes in out there. As long as you're a good dude or a good dudette and you're not doing any harm to anyone else, have at it. And you're more than welcome here. On that note, I've just noticed the time. And I'm 15 minutes away from doing a very manly Christmas part 2 with a very manly Jimmy Jeans. Yes, we'll be over on tfrlive.com. Hope you've enjoyed this different Christmas story. I don't think anyone can disagree. It's a very different Christmas story. But I'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. We've got Freaky Friday tomorrow as well. Friday again already. I can't believe these weeks are going so fast. Try to think who anything else. Remember to check out Kevin McCairn's latest video. It's only over an hour long. He's very on point, very on the science, and very, very important information for your consideration. I would never tell you what to think. I merely encourage you to think for yourself. And on that note, keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Holy shimoly, I just burst my own eardrums out and all of yous out there as well, right? Dang. Sorry, dudes. Sorry.